So please tell me a little bit about yourself, your organisation and your role in it.
Okay, so I'm Judith Davis. I'm currently the Youth and Development Manager at Full Circle at Docklands. As organisations, we've been based in the heart of St Paul's. It's our 40th year anniversary this year, so we're going to be going hard on our anniversary. We've been working with young people for that long and younger. We used to be called actually Holiday Camp on Deck, so I do hope people remember those good old days. And we're now based at Docklands. We've got it back. The building that has a plaque dedicated to the young people of Bristol, and we got it as an asset transfer. So thank you to the community and the council for supporting that process to happen. And ACE, our partners, our wonderful partners. Sorry, ACE.
Thank you. Congratulations for you.
Thank you.
Why do you think young people engage in violence?
There's many factors. It's funny, since the last couple of years I've been doing a lot of my own research into youth violence, and it has, interesting, a couple of different headings, and it's got the wide area. Like today in this meeting, she talked about how it's not just knives. It's not just knives, and I think the narrative that's being put out there to the wider communities and what's been given back to us is not 100% correct. The multiple deprivation factors is a huge indicator. I think the reports that I've read or research that's done in America, done in England, we've got the serious youth violence strategy, which I just read again yesterday for nighttime reading. It says it all. But for some reason we can't seem to get on top of it because we don't want to listen to the young people. And I'm lucky that I'm blessed to be part of an organisation where I do believe that we put young people first, and that is the way it has to be, and that's the way it will be as long as I'm there anyway.
Thank you. What strategy do you, as your organisation, adopt when tackling youth violence, and why?
Tackling youth violence, I most probably have a problem with that because we put youth first. There's this thing around youth violence. We've got how many young people in the UK? They're not all violent. What we've got to remember, there's a small number of young people, unfortunately for whatever reasons, who are committing acts that hurt themselves, their families and their communities. And there's so many numerous factors, and what we're doing forgetting that these young people belong to the community. They belong to the families, they belong to the schools, and for whatever is going on, there seems to be a lot of missing. When we talk to some young people about what they've done and why, we'll have a look at what the services were meant to provide. They didn't do it. It's not necessarily wraparound or holistic, or actually puts the young person first, essentially puts the young person first. What we do, what helps, I think, is listening to the young person. A lot of the activities we do, or engagement, is just about being there, being good role models, just caring, having a smile and having someone to connect with. Now, we've got young people growing up now who don't even know what a youth worker is. So when we're then saying, oh, they're violent, actually they're standing on the corner because there's nothing to do, because you took away the youth centres and you took away all the other resources, and then they look like they're bad or being difficult because they're just socialising. And we forget sometimes, because I was young once, I might not look it now, but you're just connecting with your friends and finding somewhere to go. Unfortunately, got to do this on a street corner with no lighting. And then there's all these vulnerable factors as well. If you've got multiple deprivation factors, say three or two, and somebody knows that or can sniff that through, because sometimes with young people, like adults, if someone's a bit nervous coming in, because I live and work in St Paul's, if you're nervous just walking through, people know that, and then they just go, right, let me just catch that person, let me just let them know if they don't hold these drugs for me or whatever, I'm going to catch them at school because I know where they live. There's so many nuances for why young people do what they're doing, good and bad, but I think we need to focus on the positives. We have so many young people doing great things, going through school, getting their GCSEs, moving on to university, empowering others, but for some reason we don't choose to engage in that narrative. We choose to engage in the selective negativity, but the selective negativity does need working on. I don't want to lose that. But let's not forget the young people who, with everything that's going on in their life, just thrive and are resilient. And we're forgetting that there's young people I work with all the time if you knew what they were going through, you're just like, how did they get to school today? We've got young people who come to us who've not been fed. This is 6-7 o'clock at night. That's real. We've got young people who've been told they were rubbish in school, and they'll come to us and it's like, I don't know what was going on with your teacher that day or what issues they were going on with, but here, you rise and you shine. You always rise and you shine. And that might just hold a young person going down the wrong path or thinking someone's going to listen to me. Or their mum's working all day. My mum worked all day. But you've just got positive reinforcements, and I believe in that. And I grew up in a youth centre, so I know how important it is to have good people around you, or people who've got your back. And I'm glad at Full Circle, at Docklands, we've got a lot of young people's backs.
Right, thank you. That's really positive.
Yeah.
And finally, what do you think is most important in addressing youth violence?
Oh gosh, what we're doing today is one example, and talking to my colleagues and other people, we're fed up of having these conversations. It is becoming more than boring. You've got the written evidence, academic research, and you've got the narrative of communities and the rising in this and that, showing you that something is wrong, showing you that you need to become, do more co-produced work, that you need to invest in strategies for more than 2 years or 6 months to have an impact for change. And for some unknown reason, educated people in the government feels that that's okay, and it's not good enough. We've got to everybody has to be accountable. We're having services being dropped in here and then they're gone. No thank you, no exit plan, no nothing. And that keeps on happening. You're leaving our young people behind. I think we have is it our mayor says, no young people left behind? Well, I believe in that 110%, but I think the narrative of what the research is saying is we're leaving one too many behind, and we just need to stop it.
Great. Thank you.
Is that all right?
Thank you very much. That's really, really good. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thank you.